Foreign Minister, have you been surprised by the controversy that has been stirred by the visit here?
Well, surprise is perhaps a good word, because we don't know what the issue at contention was. If you're talking about the terrorism information exchange issue, for instance, it's not a new story. It's an old story that should have surprised no one, and we don't understand what the objective of it. If we have a difference of view about the exchange of information, I think if the intention is to have good information to prevent terrorist act, then it is a good challenge.
The other controversy is about human rights inside Saudi Arabia, and to many
haven't
people,
seen that controversy. We haven't.
Well, it's been raised
with anybody. It's been raised in the papers, perhaps.
Mr. Brown hasn't raised human rights.
Human rights is something between a government and its people, and it is not. We are responsible to our people and what we do to them, and they are the ones who will question us about what rights we guarantee. But we haven't talked as government to government on this issue.
Even at that level, women in Saudi Arabia, some women, have asked you for permission, for example, to drive a car. I mean, we have women who are running countries, Chile, Argentina, Germany. Our head of state is a woman. It seems extraordinary that women should not be allowed to come out of the house, that they should be restricted to what they can do, when here the complaint is about giving women equal pay.
This is, for us, is not a political issue for the government. It's a social issue. It is what society will accept. I mean, you can't force people to do things in their personal life. And we believe that this is something for the family to decide, for the people to decide for themselves, and not to be forced by the government either to drive or not to drive. And
do you believe in women's emancipation? Do you think they should vote? They should drive?
Myself, I think they should drive, but I'm not the one who decides on that. It has to be the family of the families that decide. It's a social issue really, rather than a political issue.
The other concern is about the export of Wahhabist extremism. The Americans have said that 40% of the insurgents that they've picked up, the Sunni insurgents they picked up in Iraq, are Saudis.
Well, the last part is not true. It's not true that most of those captured in Iraq are Saudi. On the contrary, the information we have from the Iraqis, Saudis make up the least of those that are captured. As to Wahhabism, Muhammad ibn Abdul Wahhab happens to be my great-grandfather on my father's side, so I don't agree that he was extremist at all.
No. He may not have been an extremist, but there are people who, in the name of Wahhabism, do, for example,
it's called Wahhabism, but it means Wahhabism means nothing. He was a reformer rather than an extremist who called for jihad. And
but the problem, Foreign Minister, is that people from Saudi Arabia are funding madrasas and training camps, which are radicalizing.
I don't think any country has done more to check financing coming out of a country more than what Saudi Arabia has done. But we are not fighting just the financing element of it. We are fighting the conflict as a war. Total war.
One area both of closeness and of distance between Britain and Saudi Arabia has been the weapons deal over the typhoons. Did Saudi Arabia warn Britain that if the police continued their inquiry into alleged bribery activities involving British aerospace and Prince Bandar, did you warn that the Typhoon deal would be ended and that it would affect the exchange of intelligence in the war on terror?
No, I don't think that that is what happened. But in order for harmonious relations, and especially in the security sphere, where weapons are important for the defense of Saudi Arabia, we can't have a relationship that is unstable. And unless we are both happy with the situation, and that it be legal, and that it be above board, it would have damaged the relationship in this very sensitive area.
But you had to make it plain, therefore, that if an unstable situation developed because of a police investigation, that investigation would have to stop.
We have said that if you have accusation, let us know about them. Why these accusations are brought only after the sale and not before the consummation of the sale. Of course, this is important to us, and to make sure that if anything untoward happens, that it doesn't happen again in the future.
When I asked you earlier about an attack on Iran, an American attack on Iran, you said we must prevent a bull in a china shop.
Well, I said not meaning any
allocation of bull or china shop.
Description of any side about who the bull is and where the china shop is. The china shop is, of course, is
the region.
The region. But any war in that region, as I said, is going to be a very damaging.
So your advice would be do not bomb?
Our advice would be to resolve the issue on a peaceful means. We must convince the Iranians that proliferation is not going to serve any purpose. After all, what would a weapon of mass destruction do for them? Whom are they going to use it against?
Prince Saud, thank you very much indeed for talking to us.
Thank you for having me.